a time where young people feel threatened, where our young are taking other young people's lives, one has to wonder, is anyone asking how they feel? We went to the borough of Haringey to hear the true voice of young people today.
I've been shot at so many times. One of my friends got shot in his neck and that. And I was standing right next to him when it happened and that. But he's still alive though, he's not even dead. But yeah. Yeah, just Martin, that's it. R.I.P. man.
I remember my bedroom being stabbed in the chest. For no real reason. 2 of them, one of them died.
Basically, I'm only 14, but knife and gun crime is big around it. Yeah, like a couple of days ago, there was a shooting at MPK. And these guys get caught and only get like a few years, and then they come out and then they carry on doing the same thing. If these guys are doing these things, then they should get more time.
As a young girl, I don't actually think there's a point to gangs, especially if a boy was trying to talk to me and he was in a gang, I wouldn't really want to go out of him because I'm putting myself in danger that way. Also, things like stabbings and shootings, I don't because I'm Catholic, so I don't believe in taking someone's life for no reason. I have no right to take someone's life, and I don't see if there's an argument, it shouldn't be sorted out in violence. You should just be mature, especially as we're getting older. When you're an adult, if you're in a workplace, you don't agree with something, you can't really just go out and fighting people. You need to learn to talk about it and sort it out civilly and properly.
I've been coming to youth centre since I was 13. I was on something called the YIP occlusion thing where I was getting in trouble at school, and so they brought me in to show me the ways, innit? So if it was to get closed down, I wouldn't have nowhere to go. That's why I've chose to become a youth worker, so I can show the young kids a way to go in life.
Youth worker, I've come across a lot of gun and knife crimes. I basically think it's to do with power and money. So in respect, once you have that, then you're basically on top. If you don't, then you get picked on more.
In regards to to the whole gang culture, gang violence thing, I think really it's about respect and people respecting each other, and even some people don't have respect for their parents and stuff. And the postcode wars, I think, is silly because we should all be living together as a community. Back in the day when people if there's a problem, you could go to your neighbour and your neighbour will give you a cup of tea or something. But now everyone just seems to be going about their own business and just maybe some people think that they're too good for other people, and no one wants to give anyone a helping hand because when someone falls low, everyone always needs that little push to get them back on the right.
And I go to school, and a lot of my friends are involved in this business of repping ends. So there are some that rep for Farm, Wood Green, Bruce Grove, and it is kind of annoying because when you got friends that are in different groups, then you don't know what way to go to. But I always make it clear to them that look, you guys want to be in this thing, yeah, I don't really approve this, but I'm not gonna be in your gang because I'm your friend. I'm your friend, but not gonna follow you into this thing.
One thing I do know,
knife crime and gun crime, I personally say it's all stupidness. If you've got a knife and you got or a gun, it just clearly says, boom, you're a coward. You have it. A long time ago, people used to just have a fight and done. Nowadays, you could punch up somebody, mash them up. They're fighting back still, but you got the upper hand. And for the fact that they're ashamed that you battered them, they're coming back to take your life. You understand me? And I think that's a bit of stupidness. Maybe I think deep down, just maybe people should do more boxing and stuff. It at least things would come out just a normal little punch up or maybe a little black eye or a bloody nose and done, instead of people getting wounded or rushed to any hospital wherever. But I think it's just purely stupidness. I personally think the police, they're kind of slacking on their job, and I'm brave to say this. I don't care what anyone says. The fact of the matter is, the police are proper roaming the streets for people in their cars. They're giving people grief with their cars, yeah, and they should be looking out for people's lives instead more. They blatantly know where kids are, but they fail to go up to the kids and stop and search them. Okay, when I get stopped and searched, I feel upset. I'll feel offended because they'd think of me. Look at that, I'd look like a thug, but I know it's for the good of the community. Anywhere, Hackney, Haringey, Barnet, wherever. But still, they should just stop and search more people. Don't
people from Green, from Hornsey, from Tottenham, even from Edmonton together, and so that they can mix. They can see that they're not that different. Where they're coming from is relatively the same place and their goals are relatively the same, then maybe we can help improve that. I mean, obviously, within every group of young people classified as hoodies or badman or whatever the term is, there are one or two young people that are bad. But to be honest, from knowing these groups of young people, the rest of them are well-intentioned, they're good people. They don't necessarily want that lifestyle. They want to go to college, they want to work, and we just have to get them involved in projects where we can help to develop them, help them to progress. And to be honest, in my experience, I found that a lot of the young people who are getting involved in things like this, it's not something that they want, it's something that they're being pressurized to do so by a lot of the older people around them, and that is also something perhaps for the police to look at. I don't know how we as youth workers could really get to the older people, because obviously they are outside of our target group. Another way of dealing with things, I think, is to go through primary schools, to be honest, because what we have now is we have a generation of young people who are involved in knife and gun crime, who are involved in postcode wars, and we need to really focus on the younger generation to make sure that they don't slip into the same pattern. This could be done by doing gang workshops in schools, in play centres, after school clubs. However, also I think at our youth centre, we get a lot of 10 or 11-year-olds come in trying to ask, can we take part in the projects, can we come and hang out? And because we cater for 13 to 19, often we have to turn them away. And it's at this current time, a lot of them 10 to 11-year-olds, they're not at home with their parents. Maybe their parents work nights, maybe they just haven't got the time, whatever the reason be. These 10 and 11-year-old kids are out on the streets, and what have they got to do but look at a 15-year-old who's making a little bit of money and think, yeah, why not? Let me hang around with him, let me see what he's got to offer me. And a lot of the time, it can lead them down a bad road. And if they had something to do, then maybe that could be prevented.
I think postcode wars are all irrelevant. I don't like the fact that you can't go out to another area just because you feel as though someone's going to come stab you up or someone's after you. To be honest, I think it's all about the fact that one area wants to be bigger than another area, and to be honest, they're all weak as each other because they're pathetic enough to care about postcodes and where they come from. They should all just get along.
Regarding to knife and gun crime, I don't think there's a lot I can say. That I don't think it will stop for now, because too much of these young youth nowadays want to be grown up, so I don't really think there's nothing to stop it. But 10, 15 years ago, there was teachers beating kids. I don't think that will help nowadays.
Like I say, I think right now, the only solution nowadays is probably to just keep youth clubs open, really. Just find good staff that can relate to their age group, that know what they're talking about, that are willing to listen. Then hopefully over time it might get better.